Well, hello, hello, hello. Can y'all hear me? Um, so today is a very special live. It was kind of an impromptu, inspired by the lovely Miss Police Press and a conversation that we were having in a live for Lawless about her relationship. And it kind of made me think, how many relationships that we have in our lives are toxic or just, bad, and how to cope with it and things like that, how to tell the difference and things like that. So, um, here we go. And you know me, I always have the impromptu. But let's start out with, labeling out different types of relationships, period. You have your toxic relationship where one or both partners are hurt in the relationship. Um, a lot of controlling behaviors with secrecy, disrespect, blame, resentment, judgment, a lot of gaslighting. And then you have compassionate love, which, is a deep commitment between two people who share affection but lack sexual desire or companion love, sorry. An open relationship, which I honestly don't really recommend, is where you're in a committed relationship but are willing to have other partners. Codependent is a dysfunctional relationship dynamic where one person sacrifices their own needs and well being for the other person. Friends with benefits, well, I don't think I need to go into that one, guys. Friendship, we know what that is. Asexual relationship is where somebody might not have sexual attraction but could still experience romantic attraction. Um, and then dominant and submissive is a relationship where one partner is dominant and the other submits. Trust, communication, boundaries, and consent are very important for a safe and healthy subdom relationship. So, and there's nothing wrong with polyamorous, Firefly. I know a lot of people that have them. They just never worked in my personal life. So, that being said, um, when it comes to trying to figure out if your relationship is toxic or if, and I've already spoken to the beautiful Queen Kaylin about this because she and I work together and I kind of coach her and we're very good friends. We do tarot readings together here on YouTube. Um, there, you have a toxic relationship where usually one partner will just constantly belittle and just make you self-doubt everything. And then you just have the relationships where you're just too different. There's no, real disrespect in there. It's just you don't see eye to eye. You know, um, Kaylin did give me permission to discuss this. So her partner or her ex-partner didn't like the fact that she smoked pot, even though it helped her with her anxiety and her depression and things like that. Um, and there was just a lot of things that they didn't see eye to eye. It's not that either one of them is a bad person or a toxic person, they just weren't right for each other, you know? And then, um, sorry, police, honey, but you were the one that influenced this. Um, a toxic relationship, like I said, is where you're constantly being put down no matter what you do. I've been in toxic relationships and they suck. And you don't really know what is going on. And yes, I am paying attention to the chat, guys. I just wanted to get through my opening spiel, but about like, talking about all of it. And then I am going to post, if you guys want the link, I'm going to turn it open panel. So real quick, I'm going to go through the chat. I do have a few more points that I want to make before I do open it. Yeah, right, Ollie? So hello, Third Eye. Welcome to the channel. Nice to meet you. Police Press, beautiful. I'm so glad you joined. Lonnie, I love you, honey. My wonderful Ollie, he is my chocolate covered lotus flower inside kind of joke. Queen Kaylin, thank you for answering the call of modding for me. And if you guys had noticed the thumbnail, our beautiful Izzy Pop, she's the one that created it for me. Hello, Misha, and Firefly. I'm just so glad you guys all came. You're all wonderful. I love y'all to pieces. And hello, Body Illusion. So glad you're here. Lawless, this, you know, whole thing is all because you decided to get drunk and go live last night. So it's all your fault, Lawless. And hey, Village, glad you're here. So now back to the show. There are ways to distinguish between a toxic relationship and where you and your partner just are too different. Let's go over the signs of a toxic relationship. Lack of respect, constant criticism or belittling or dismissing what's going on. Controlling and manipulating, where one partner tries to dominate or manipulate you. They're emotionally draining. You feel consistently unhappy, stressed, or exhausted. Abuse, obvious, verbal, physical, financial, or, etc. There's constant conflict. You always feel like you're walking on eggshells. Fear and isolation. Those are the signs that you're in a toxic relationship. Where the signs of just being too different is you have core value misalignment. You have different priorities. For example, one of you wants to have a family and the other one doesn't. You have different career paths. One wants to travel, one's a homebody. Communication struggles. You have difficulty understanding each other's perspectives due to different communication styles. Lifestyle clashes, significant differences in hobbies, habits, daily routines, separate goals, long-term plans don't align. Compromise feels are forced. Adapting to each other's preferences feels like losing a part of yourself. So key differences between the two is in a toxic relationship, harm, disrespect, or control dominates all. You almost feel unsafe emotionally and physically. Love you, Misha. Thank you for coming. Whereas in a relationship where you're just simply too different, there's no malice or harm. You're just not compatible. And, making growth and like a true connection is difficult, and a lot of times like the codependent relationships kind of get that way. Or, if you have a fear of being alone, you can get into a misaligned relationship where you're just too different very easily. Couple of questions you want to ask yourself, is do I feel safe, respected, valued? Are you working together to solve problems, or am I the only one compromising? Is this relationship enhancing my life or holding me back? If it's toxic, prioritizing your well-being and seeking support is critical. If it's a matter of differences, counseling, open dialogue might help to bridge the gap if you're both willing. If not, a lot of times you can end those relationships peacefully and still have the love, but it just never should have been, a relationship. But perfect example, my first marriage. My first marriage truly should not have become a marriage, honestly. Yes, exactly. Body illusions. Why am I always walking on eggshells? It's a horrible feeling. I hate it, honestly. And hey, Sharon, welcome, my love. So now, with all of that being said, I am going to post the link in the chat for you guys if you want to come join me. Actually, correction, if you guys put in the chat that you want the link. I will post it and you guys can jump up. So now, does anybody really have any questions or comments that they want to make on this? And this is not excellent. And why not, Ollie? So, well, actually, I know Ollie wanted to jump up, so I'm going to post that link real quick in the chat. I love you too, Ollie. I never, Police Press said she never quite felt like she was with him. It's when I wasn't with him when he made me feel like crap and I didn't do anything. That I understand that feeling. Hello, Ollie. Hello, my beautiful, handsome chocolate covered lotus flower. Like I said, guys, this is an inside joke or inside thing.
Hello, Delou.
So I know you can talk about this a little bit. So why don't you share a little bit on yours? Because I know that you had helped someone very dear to you out of an abusive relationship and you guys grew apart. So, and that was, to me, that kind of sounds like not a toxic relationship, but a, too different to be able to stay, So do you want to get into that? I mean, as an example and conversation, or it's up to you, Ollie, you know me.
Yes, of course. And because I don't have any other example, this is the only relationship that I had with a human being intimately. So so all came like through internet, like we were chit-chatting, and then we met each other's, and then we discovered each other's, and she announced me that she's already married, but she's willing to quit because of the toxicity of the relationship there. And she was already a mother of 3 children. And we were meeting a few times during 2013, including an amazing moment in December. It was our private gathering. It was an amazing evening together. And then, of course, all the things are easily, the gossiping or whatever. And so the husband then was knowing, and so he had no other choices than to divorce directly. She was waiting to see if our relationship was. And then in January she was living with me because else she would have been totally in the street because he was not willing to accept that. And so for her it was the salute path, because she was already since years and years depressed with 25 years marriage. And then and we were having kind of a honeymoon before during 2013 and in 2014. And then life goes on, and at that time I was jobless, and I was really blessed that she was with me, because then I was able to share the rent with her. I was also with my dad, so we were living, me and her, with my bedroom, and my dad in the other room. So it was quite funny, but it was really interesting, and my dad was happy because it was the first time that I was meeting someone, and I was having a relationship, an intimate relationship. And we were, she was participating to the household. She was even gardening. It was really amazing moment. But then time flies, and I'm still unemployed. And then our relationship was a bit like plateaued. And then this is a bit like the moment is a bit sad because 9 years ago, almost day by day, was on early December, so it was really like 2 weeks of she told me that she no longer love me and that she is going to quit me. And it was one of the most difficult moments of my life because I knew her journey and because I wasn't going to try to force her to stay because she was having this toxic relationship before me, and so I let her go. But at the same time, I was really in my darkness because all these kind of messages that I was pouring to myself. Oh, I was not loving her as I could, or whatever, these kind of things. So, because if she loves someone else more than me, that means that I was not so much attractive to her. And so it was really a difficult moment because also she wasn't say, okay, bye-bye. She was helping me to overcome, but she was living with me half time. And from the moment that she said to me that she was not loving me, no more love. Like we were sleeping in the same bed, but no more love. So that was really tough for me. That was the beginning of my depression, and then in 2016. Yeah, so since 2000 and end of 2015, I don't have any more any relationships. So that's it.
You did bring up one really valid point when it comes to the just too different or not compatible. If that sexual attraction isn't there, it doesn't matter how compatible you guys could be emotionally and everything. But if there's not that sexual attraction, it's just not gonna work. And real quick, police press, I'm not sure why it's not working. If you have a way of talking to any of our group, like off the chat, maybe one of them can like help you out. But back to what we were talking about, being attracted to your partner is a big deal. You have to have some attraction for it to work. I mean, like when it came to me and my ex-husband, Nathan, great guy. He was not my abuser, for those of you guys that know my story. But we just weren't compatible. We even had a lot of the same likes and everything. It's just at the end of the day, he wasn't for me, although traumatic things happen and that also put an end to our relationship. When my father passing away kind of was the final nail in that coffin, because, and I have worked through this particular thing, but when it came to our relationship right before my dad died, we had actually had a open relationship, and I had ended it with the side person, and he didn't take it very well. And unbeknownst to me, he had called me, and my father was on the call, three-way call, and my father was muted. And he goaded me into saying something that I will forever regret, that until my family accepts my husband, Nathan, I'm dead to them. That was the last thing my dad heard me say. And I didn't know that he was there. It was never meant for anybody to hear, a moment of anger. But I had a lot of resentment because of that. And I didn't mean for the resentment to go to him or to Nathan, but our relationship did. It fell apart after that, even more so. Us having a open relationship didn't help. And This is going to be a little bit of a TMI thing, but the whole sexual thing, love him to death, but any other woman, he could last forever. But for me, I can't blame the man for his shortcomings. I guess he was just too attracted to me, but you know, kind of gotta be able to, get off too. Sorry for the TMI, but when it comes to that kind of thing with a relationship, and he just, our goals just didn't align, especially at that after my dad died. I went into a very massive depression and was tired of supporting him for a lot of. For those of you that don't know, in my 20s, yes, I was a stripper because it was easy. It was South Florida and early 2000s. And I was tired of him throwing parties at my house while I'm working. And then I get home and everybody's drunk and being stupid and I'm exhausted and he's not working. That also didn't help, So now the marriage broke apart and that's fine. He lives in Orlando now with his wife and his son, and I wish him all the best. Like I said, I wasn't the best partner to him, but he wasn't a bad person. We just weren't compatible, you know? So, but there's a difference, between that and a toxic relationship where, like Police Press was saying, that he just always made her feel like crap. One of my exes, would be super sweet to me until I would give him what he wanted. And then it was, you're such a stupid slut. Why am I with you? Nobody's going to want you after me. And my abuser also would say those things. You're tainted, you're this, you're that. And not true. I'm not tainted. I'm not broken. I'm perfect in my imperfections. I have built an amazing community of people around me that have shown me my real worth. And,
Yeah.
you.
He tried to gaslight. He tried to have gaslighting and to
Mhm.
control,
Yeah.
to say, okay, I am the only one that blah, blah, blah,
Mhm.
removing, creating a
Mhm.
dependency.
Absolutely. It's just a matter of realizing your worth. And, ironically, this fits in perfectly with the 2 coaching programs that I'm about to launch. All you know about that. You've been in the classes with Jen Lin. Queen Kaylin is actually going to be one of my beta clients, along with, and I'm not sure if she's still in here, but Body Illusion said that she was also going to beta for me, because, well, got to test out the program.
Mm.
So, it's, and the program is all about, trauma recovery and learning to become you and who that is. But one of the biggest things is loving yourself. Because when you get out of a bad relationship, you know, especially abusive one, where they gaslight you constantly, make you think you're crazy, because that's what gaslighting does. Make you doubt yourself and make you feel bad for being upset that they cheated on you or whatever. You have every right to be pissed off if you get cheated on or if they do something to intentionally hurt you. But then they try to flip it on you and say it's your fault or get mad at you for getting upset. And that's not a good thing. Yeah, a lot of people when they deal with trauma, whether it's abuse in their childhood or otherwise, um, childhood trauma, domestic abuse, things like that, a lot of us will develop dissociative disorders. That kind of goes under the whole banner of neurospicy, as we like to call it, right, Ollie?
Yeah.
We do. We pull we pull into ourselves, we disassociate, we just go through the motions in life because we just don't want to feel it. We don't want to see it. So we just disassociate and basically live our lives from the outside. Ollie, do you want to kind of go a little bit more into that really quick while I, yes, Firefly, I know you're very neurospicy. I love you. You fit just right in with our nut house of a family. I'm just going to grab my drink. So if you want to chit chat a little bit on that, because we've all talked a lot about all of this stuff in our class with Jen Lynn and on LinkedIn. So can you cover for me for like 45 seconds? I just left it on the table.
Of course. Well, so in fact, you are totally true that we cannot be truly in a relationship with others if we are not truly in a relationship with ourselves. Because if we are not loving ourselves, we are searching love outside ourselves, and but the other is not searching that we love them. The others, I think, is searching that we love ourselves first, because I truly believe that we might catch when we love someone that this person is not truly loving us in a strong point, but they are loving us because they are trying to fill a void. And I think that was my case, because I was at that time in 2013, 14, 15, I was still not fully mature. I was in my dependency relationship. And that's why when she left me, I was a bit grieving this relationship. And somehow I think it was even in 2017 and 18, I still have depression on not being with her. So it took time for me to really accept that she will never love me again, and that I'm not loving her because it will be her shadow, a person that is not anymore in my life and not loving me truly.
Welcome.
Hey,
I see you
welcome.
out.
Hey.
I will tell you this. You look so much like my younger sister Tammy. It's not funny. Your chin's a little bit different, but like from like your lips up, you look so much like my younger sister Tammy. It's kind of eerie, actually. Now, you truly were the one that inspired this. I know I just met you last night, but watching what you were saying in the chat and everything, you don't know who and what I do. So, and I usually do the introduction at the beginning. I didn't today, but I am a personality recovery specialist who's trauma trained, but I'm also a domestic abuse awareness advocate, speaker, coach, obviously survivor. You heard all that. And 6-time international best-selling co-author. In fact, 3 of those books are with Rattled Awake Media, who's been talking. That's Lonnie. 3 of those books have been with her. So I know a little bit about what I'm talking about. But seeing what you were talking about really made me want to do this, because partially it does feed into my program launch, but it also is something important to talk about. I've been talking with a lot of my friends about their relationships lately, Queen Kaylin, and some others, and seeing about seeing how some of them are toxic, but then some of them they don't mesh. It's not like either side's bad, they just don't mesh well, so if you are open to it, give us a little bit of a backstory so we can kind of help navigate.
All right. Well, when we met, I was just walking home from the store and he offered me a ride. Normally I don't take rides from guys, but I'm like, you know what? Sure. So that's where it started. But he just starts doing these things where, he's allowed to do stuff, but I'm not. Like, you know, he'll get mad at me for wanting him to message me back because he ignores me in my messages, but then he'll get upset if I don't message him back right away. It's just little things like that I started noticing. And, he wanted me to wash his dishes for him. I'm like, I'm not living here. you know? But, eventually I'm like, all right, I'll do your dishes, whatever. Then I was, he gets mad at me for not making him food and then doesn't accept it when I try to give him food. Just shit like that. It's aggravating. And the last thing that happened was I went to drop him off some food and he called me a stalker. I'm like, I just came by to give you food. Wow. And he hasn't talked to me for like a week since that. So.
Okay, now, first thing, how long have you guys known each other?
It's been about 6 months.
Okay. Another question. How long had it been since you've been in a relationship previously, and did the previous relationship end badly?
It's been 9 years since my last relationship.
Okay,
And
so
yeah, he was horrible to me.
okay, so, well, the reason I was asking is there's one type of relationship that I actually didn't bring up, and I'm kind of doing a moment for not a rebound.
Mm-hmm.
Now, rebounds are different. They're a lot more intense, and the fallout hurts actually a lot more than the relationship that you were trying to replace.
Yeah.
Because all of that hurt and pain from the original relationship is amplified by the new relationship falling apart,
Mm-hmm.
But 9 years? No. Okay.
Yeah.
That wasn't a rebound.
I was totally done for 9 years.
No, that wasn't a rebound, but I do feel like I needed to bring that up.
Yeah.
Okay. So it honestly sounds like this guy was a narcissist, truthfully. And
Yeah.
he's kind of going by the narcissist playbook of keeping you there, dangling that carrot, because when it comes to them, they only want you there when they want you. Most likely he's got one or two others on the side.
Yeah.
You fulfill certain needs for him, and he doesn't want you to just show up unannounced.
Yeah. But he can show up at my house unannounced. That's fine.
Oh no. Narcissist will. Okay. What's the best way to put this? Oh gosh, I wish Jen was here right now. Okay. Basically, when it comes to a narcissist, they want everything their way. They can do whatever the hell they want, but you have to be at the beck and call.
Yeah.
Okay. If you don't respond fast enough, what do you do? I'm working, motherfucker. Oh, just put that disclaimer out. Y'all know I curse like a sailor, so
go for it.
I think the best way to describe it is when they are doing things like that. Hey, come on, come.
Yeah.
Right.
And the thing is they will do everything they can to break your self-esteem because they want you to be waiting for them to come back. You were trying to be nice and bring some food over, and he got pissed.
Yeah.
Maybe he had another girl hiding in the room or something. You don't know.
Right.
I mean, and then So he hasn't talked to you. He's letting you stew.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, give it another couple of days, maybe a week, his house will be a mess and he'll need something and he'll start
Yep.
love bombing you, or he'll be like, or he'll be like, why haven't you called me? Motherfucker, I tried.
Right.
We'll come over.
Mm-hmm.
But most likely he'll love bomb you. He'll be like, I'm sorry I got so upset. Can you
Oh,
come
he
over?
doesn't say sorry. I never gotten a sorry from him.
That's another narcissist.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but you know what I mean? He'll love bomb you. He'll be like, hey baby, I miss
Mhm.
you want to come over? And then you'll get there, he'll get what he wants out of you, and then he'll make you clean his house or make you dinner or make him dinner.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Or he'll have you do that stuff, dangling the carrot of intimate time.
Yeah.
Those are typical. They try to devalue anything that you do, and they'll make you live for the highs. Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody knows when it comes to abusive relationships, there's 4 types. You have emotional, which is emotional and mental, and a lot of times they also classify spiritual in that. Then you have sexual, financial, and physical. Those are the 4 classifications of domestic abuse. Okay.
Mhm.
And I personally experienced all 4. Thanks, but it's okay. If I didn't go through what I went through, I wouldn't be here today.
Yeah.
But what he's doing to you is the carrot stick. You're living for those highs when he calls you.
Mhm.
Let me ask you this. When you first met him, did you get like the butterfly feeling in your stomach that like all the romance novels talk about, like it's a good thing?
Does that
Like,
exist?
well, I'm just saying, did you have that feeling in the pit of your
No.
stomach? Okay. But did you ever feel completely content with him?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Every time
When
I'm
you're
with him,
around
we're
him,
fine. Yeah.
when you're around him,
Everything's
you
fine.
feel like, is your energy up though? Like not anxious,
Mhm.
but like hyper?
Yeah.
That's not a good thing.
I was
No,
always happy with him.
When it comes to truly being compatible and your body trusting,
Mhm.
you'll find that you're tired and completely relaxed and content when it's a good relationship, when your body's not in fight or flight.
Mm.
Ollie, you remember that from my summit, right? Oh, now we got, Ollie.
Who is that?
My brother from another mother.
Holy
Why,
moly.
thank you, Lawless. This is special. When I first met Lawless
Loveless or
a couple months
loveless?
ago, I
Like happy
like
feet.
literally sent him a message on Insta saying, dude, we got to get in a panel together. And he completely ignored me.
Here is loveless.
So thank you.
You're welcome.
I feel very special today, my
Aw,
brother.
I'm shy.
I've got my chocolate lotus flower in one corner, and I got Lawless here. Wow, I'm doing good tonight, guys. Thank you. I feel special. All right, Lawless. Now, first off, how's your hangover, brother?
I'm great, man. I'm great. I'm awesome. Thank you.
Where's
Nice to
the
meet
dog?
you, Ollie. Nice to meet you.
Here are the dog
Amanda,
where
it's
that's a
great to
good
see
lunch
you.
with your daughter.
Good to see
Oh, it was
you.
awesome lunch.
Good.
It's
So,
very great
let's
to
hear what
see
you got to
you,
say,
Carol.
brother.
Woo.
Thank you.
So, you joined for a reason, Lawless. Let's hear it.
Oh, I know. I'm just like,
I got it.
oh my
And for
God.
those of you that are in the chat that know Lawless, you know this is like
What a
real
pressure
thing.
to you,
I
Lawless.
got Lawless speechless. Put him on the spot. This is awesome. I wish OG was in here to clip it.
Oh my gosh. This is no wonder.
Come on, I gotta poke some fun at you right now, bro.
Poor Lawless.
Yeah. I don't know.
I will say, you had some pretty good compliments today from a friend of mine that I had going to Izzy's room. That you have a very good voice and that you sound kind of like the DJs from back in like 80s talk radio, but it's a very smooth voice. It's a very comforting voice. I might actually want to talk to you about doing some voiceovers when it comes to the books for the narrating, because you have a very solid voice.
I would like that. I would like that. I mean, I can't really share too much on as far as I see your title, relationships or whatnot. I mean, we've all been through toxic relationships. I know I have or whatnot. But not recently. But I know there is some heuristics that can define one, and that we might fall victim to that we don't even realize. One thing is jealousy. It seems depends on how much jealousy is, and that could be a controlling thing too, though.
Yeah. Got jealous of you because I was talking to you.
No, jealousy is a good point. Okay. I know many of us have seen the movie Moulin Rouge. Okay. And when the Duke is talking to Harry about signing the contract to turn the Moulin Rouge into the theater, he's sitting there and they're discussing his contract about scene. And he is sitting there with his like little bowler hat in his lap, and he's like, "I'm not a jealous person. I just don't like people touching my things." Now, I joke about that when it comes to Matt. I joke about it. But it is a human emotion and everything to feel a little bit of jealousy. Say you see a guy flirting with your wife, and it seems like she's flirting a little back. That you'll have that little pang of jealousy, but as long as it doesn't go overboard and you don't be a dick about it or a bitch about it, it's fine. That's healthy, and that shows that you do still love and appreciate your partner. But when they get jealous of talking to even your mom or a friend that you've known your entire life, that shows insecurity. That's controlling. That is not healthy jealousy. Okay. There is a fine line, because I will admit, I could get jealous if I saw Matt talking to another female. I mean, I'm 7 years older than him. Okay. I know Matt loves me with all his heart, and I love him just as much, but yeah, I'm gonna feel a little pain and a little worry, but that's human nature. Will I act on it? Maybe in a way of walking up to him, putting my arm around him. Kind of
See, I've never been jealous.
Oh, I do.
I think it's more of like a projection thing.
It's also a compliment to your good taste.
Yeah.
True.
Other people can see what you see in your partner. They're pretty, they're handsome, they're a good person. But getting jealous of friends, for a really long time, most of my friends were my homies. I didn't really get along with women. I will own it. Most women are just catty bitches.
I was the same way.
Okay? I was tomboy through and through. Now,
I out with all the boys.
once I kind of hit my 30s and 40s, my circle has kind of balanced out, because I just see people as people. And when I find myself around mean girls, I weed them out as quickly as possible. My chapter that's called "All That Glitters Isn't Gold" is about recognizing those mean girl relationships and realizing like the steps to recognize and walking away, realizing that you don't need them, that you are good enough for you. Yes, I
Ooh.
talk about my book chapters and everything, but because they're good reference points. And Lawless, I really want you to listen to that story about my sister. I think you'll get a kick out of it.
Yeah.
My
I'm
sister,
excited.
she fit into the black world, not the white world. And as you
Okay.
can tell, we're very white. Do you remember the term wigger?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I'm not saying it just like in a negative or derogatory way, but
Mhm.
that is the best way to describe my older sister, Susan.
My goodness gracious. Oh my gosh.
Okay. I mean, the typical black claws, you know what I mean? The acrylics that are like
Oh my goodness.
and the purple hair. And she even used the hair product. Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What?
She married
Hey.
a black man. All of it. Like, that's why I said
I'm
it's
loving her.
not derogatory. It's the best way to describe her because she fit into the ghetto black community.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
So, but that's, and I talk about all of that and how she was. That's why I thought you would get a kick out of that.
Is that older sister, younger sister?
When I say my sister, she was biologically my aunt. My biological father's parents adopted me.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
And so my dad was always my dad, but his two sisters, who are my biological aunts, I was raised, they're my sisters, period. You see what I'm saying? So,
Gotcha. Okay.
and welcome back, Body and College Level Hogwarts. I'm so glad to see you, my dear. I know I've been neglecting the chat, and that's something we yelled at you about last night. But
Oh
you
my
brought up
goodness gracious.
when you brought up the whole jealousy point, though, it really is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I was saying a
Yeah,
lot of stuff last night
yeah,
too.
Misha, that's a really good point. You know, that kind of jealousy is healthy in a relationship. Keeps, you know, as long as it's balanced. Matt is really good about wanting to make sure that I feel good, whether it's the bedroom or relationship wise. When both partners want to be happy, want to make each other happy, that's a good thing. And you can't always be 100% all the time. Sometimes we get depressed. There's times where the other person has to carry the weight because things happen. And God bless Matt. The first 3 years of our relationship were really hard. I had just gotten out of my abusive relationship. He got me out, actually. And I convinced him to fall in love with me. We were best friends for 2 years before that. He literally saved my life a few times. Yeah. But we went through hell the first 3 years. And then for the last year and a half, thankfully, it's been good. But we're still mending things within our relationship because of it. I put that man through hell.
Oh dear goodness. Oh
So,
man.
But then again, there are times within our relationships that our past traumas, even from our childhood,
There you go.
affect us.
Yeah.
And there are things learned that you have to fix. Like, I'll own it. I can be self-destructive, but I also have that, fight or flight, that self-protection habit, of not giving all the information, not always being honest. When I don't need to be that way, it's just instinct. Where you go out. Or, not telling the whole truth, because all my life telling the whole truth would get me in
I'm the
trouble.
opposite. I'll tell you everything.
That's not about no. Like I said, I'm working past that. I'm trying to break that toxic habit. We all have toxic, parts of our personality that we need to address in ourselves. But as long as you recognize them and try to work through it, then it's not okay when it happens, but hold yourself accountable, you know? I mean, everybody has a dark side, everybody has a light side.
Mhm.
And that dark side's not necessarily bad.
That's why I
It's just
try to accept people for who they are. Because
exactly,
no one's perfect. Everybody's got their
Mhm.
problems.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And Janet, I'm so glad you're here, sweetheart. I'm very happy to see you. So to tap dance any questions, don't answer anything. Yeah. Very true. I mean, when I was a teenager, my stepdad decided my education should start at 11. I reported it multiple times, but every time I did, they legally, like DHS tried to prove it. We both took lie detector tests. There was no way of proving it, so I wound up getting in more trouble and things like that. Every time I would go to a adult, a caretaker, someone I should trust to help me, it wound up hurting me.
Mhm.
So what does that teach me? So I've been having to break that cycle within myself
Mhm.
to not be toxic towards Matt, not hurt him by keeping things to myself or lying about something that I don't need to.
Mhm.
What'd you spend this money on? I don't know. There's no need for it. But it's so ingrained in me from my childhood and everything that it's hard to break. And I'm working on it, and he has a lot of grace. But that man's a saint. I swear. I mean, granted, yeah, we have our arguments, but
As does everybody.
Mhm.
So you guys learn how to argue though. That's great.
yeah. I mean, now he's the type that likes to deal with it right away, whereas I'm the type that let me calm down and then let's discuss, because I will spout off at the mouth. And the madder I get, the more I spout off at the mouth and say things that I shouldn't and that I don't mean. That, I guess that's the Leo in me, but that it's the truth. I'm not a physical fighter.
Hmm.
I am all about the mind and the mouth. And boy, that my mouth can go. So I try to walk away, and I'll even say that we'll be in the middle of an argument and be like, let's just stop before I say something I'm really gonna regret. And I will walk outside for a cigarette. Sometimes he follows, depending on how mad he is, and sometimes he'll respect it. Really depends on the argument. But it's learning each other's boundaries and things like that. And that's one of the best ways to build a healthy relationship. But at the same time, the first relationship that we need to worry about is the one with ourselves. Building a non-toxic relationship within yourself is really important, because like attracts like. If you are happy with who you are, then you will find people that are the same, that have the same, not necessarily the same goals, but the same outlook on life.
Mhm.
You out? Mhm.
No, I'm saying hi to Janica. Hi, Janica.
Yeah, welcome, beautiful. Um, is just let me know if what I'm saying makes sense.
It does make sense.
Yeah.
A lot of it does. Yes, definitely.
Let's see. I've
Well,
always been happy with myself,
okay.
but
A lot of you guys know Jen that are in my chat. You've gone to her lives because of me, or you've seen her in my lives. She really, her marketing and branding program really helped me out. It helped Ollie out, because we started the work within first, and then went forward. Okay. Saying that we are our brand is true when it comes to going through this course, because like my Kitty Phoenix, my brand is Crystal Phoenix. And it's a little kitty phoenix that I designed sitting in a lotus flower. Thank you, Ollie, for Ollie was the inspiration of the lotus flower. And I am the kitty phoenix. She is me. That is my representation, because I am a phoenix who rose from the ashes, and I'm a cat. So I'm a hybrid. Mhm. I'm unique.
That's why in there is the famous movie Coco, and there is a scene where the phoenix is becoming a cat, and vice
Flawless.
versa.
I've
Talking
seen
about
that.
kids movies, I love. But then again, we talk about Studio Ghibli movies constantly, Ollie and I. So,
Mhm.
but it's taken me a long time to be happy with myself.
Yeah.
You know, after I was broken down for 9 years.
Wow. Dang.
And I had self-esteem issues from childhood anyway. But literally Christmas of 2019, I was starting to take my own life, and the only thing that stopped me was my girls. I heard him playing. It wasn't that I wanted to see him grow up. It was I didn't want to leave them with him. Now, about 5 years later, I'm glad that I stopped, because I found my purpose, and I'm making a difference, and I'm helping people. And that to me is better than anything, because I'm helping people that are in that spot I was in 5 years ago. I'm taking the hell that I went through and turning it around. I'm not seeing myself as broken because of what I went through, or unwanted or tainted. We all have trauma in our life. I'm sorry to say this, but show me a human being on this planet that's not a newborn, okay? Not under the age of, I'll even give it the age of 15, okay? From 15 on, show me a person in this world that hasn't gone through some kind of trauma.
True.
Okay. It's how we go about dealing with it. A lot of us will disassociate, we bottle it up,
Yeah.
and it slowly kills us. There are things that I literally don't remember from my childhood that are just completely blacked out.
Yeah, my whole school is just a blur for me.
Now, was that
Right,
because you were
right.
stoned, or is that because you just don't want to remember? Or a
Because I
little
don't really remember. Teachers were awful to me. Wasn't the
Oh, I'm
kids, it was the
sorry.
teachers.
That's your mind protecting you, though, right? It blocks out
Yeah.
memories or
It
whatnot.
really
'Cause,
does.
Oh
there's a lot
yeah.
of stuff that I have blocked out in my head. It's like it's just a trip, though. But it's
Like,
the
thank God
trauma
that's
is
gone.
there,
No.
though. But
And well, it sounds like you need to work with your inner child a little bit there, Lawless. I know I do. Ollie has been there one time when my inner child needed a lot of attention. My incubator, because she doesn't even deserve the title of biological mother, had really hurt me. I closed the door for the last time, and we had class that day, and everybody could see I was really, really hurt. So instead of having class that day, Jen Lynn said, no, we're going to do some inner child work. And it really helped. And it made me realize that I had a few more inner child issues than I thought. But she gave me the tools to be able to work on it, and making me realize that there were things that I thought I was over that I wasn't, also helped me grow. Because there's a reason there's a subconscious mind and a conscious mind. Our subconscious mind does things like blocking out memories to protect us for the conscious state. you know. The reason that EMDR therapy is very intense and it works for some, not others, and that's fine. I am a big fan. Is because it basically you go into the trauma memories
Mm.
and you basically reprocess them.
Shoot.
And
Shoot.
yeah, and it's
That's hard. That's
it-
hardcore to even think about right there.
it's very
Real talk.
intense. And no, there's a lot of prep work that you do beforehand before you can even start
That's hard.
with it.
Because I can't even imagine that, because my experience is from childhood. So to just cram that all and try to find out what my mind's hiding, those things that my mind's hiding, I know they're deep and dark to my life, and it's like to relive that as an adult. That sounds rough right there. I'll be honest.
But let me ask you something. Those childhood traumas, how much have they affected your relationship with your children and your wife?
They have. Now that's one thing that I had to be honest about myself. That yeah, it's still, I'm continuing to try to work on myself to address certain things that's happened before in childhood. So yes, it is affecting. It has been brought to the present, and now it's just like trying to manage it basically.
Yeah, but I am gonna call you out on one thing.
Hmm.
There's trying to manage and working through. Okay. What I try to do, like with my new coaching program, the trauma-based one, is help give you the tools to work through
Mm.
and move past so that you can become who you're supposed to be without that tainting you, instead of just managing the symptoms. Okay. You can take a Tylenol because you got a bad headache,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
but is that really, that's just giving a band-aid to a symptom. What's really like somebody that has chronic migraines, what's causing the chronic migraines? Yeah, you can treat the pain, but you're not eliminating the cause. You're just band-aiding. So just a little food for thought on that one.
Nice.
Yeah, and also that we cannot really move forward, and if we are stuck, if we are not processing what activates us, because we will be always activating, and we will be stuck, and we will not understand until we realize that because it's something that we were living in the past and we were not processing.
Janet has got a good point. It's acceptance of what you've been through and then being able to let it go.
Oh yeah.
One of the tools that I give my clients, I mean, okay, who am I kidding? I really haven't. I've had clients, but not. I have people that I've worked with because I love them and they needed my help. But I can't really call them clients because they weren't beta and they weren't paying me. But it's easier to say clients. One of the tools that I use, and I use it in my own life, and Ollie's going to recognize it as soon as I say it, it's called the purge and burn. Okay. What the purge and burn is you write it out. You write a letter to yourself as a child, to the person that hurts you, whatever, and then you burn it. You release all that energy and that negativity out, and just you release it, you burn it, it's gone. And it may take a few times, but each time you do it, you feel lighter. I have written many letters to people that have hurt me and burned them, because honestly, there's no point, if the person's still alive, of sending it, because they're not going to care. 99% of the time, they're not going to care. Now, with me and my mom, we've actually worked through a lot of my childhood trauma when it came to her. My mom had what I call the ostrich syndrome, where she buried her head in the sand and didn't want to see it. I mean, what parent wants to know that their partner is abusing their child, hurting their child? And like I said, couldn't be proven either way. Now, on his deathbed, he actually did admit to her. She won't admit it to anybody else. She and I have talked about it. I have forgiven her for her part of my childhood trauma. And that day was very freeing for both of us. Okay? And that's great if you can do that. You can't always do that. And forgiveness isn't for the other person that hurt you. It's for you.
It's for you.
Yeah, it's to not drink the poison of the others. And it's really so sad to go to the point where they are going to admit something just before they are going out of the world. That's really sad, because it means that we cannot have a healing relationship after, because they are gone. At least they admit it, but they are gone. So there is no healing physically.
And that's the thing. Our traumas do affect our relationships, whether it's friendship, familial, or relationship wise. Police, you said you hadn't been in a relationship for 9 years because your previous relationship had been that horrible. And I know so many DV survivors that are just like that. They're like, no, I'm done. I don't want to see it anymore. And then here you are finally starting a new relationship, and it's another narcissist.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
I feel cursed, man. It's always the same stuff too, like treating me like I'm doing something wrong when I'm not. It's been my whole life, the way my friends have treated me, the way teachers treated me. It's just the same thing throughout my whole life.
Well,
and it gets to you.
Oh, you're about to pull a Jen Lin. So, please press. I'm gonna have you take down my website, because it has all my socials on there, and I am going to offer you my last beta spot, my last scholarship, because it's not you, and you need to work that through, because you do deserve the fine.
I know in my heart that it's not me. I know that.
Yes.
It's just after the constant same thing over and over again.
But within the program, it also shows, it does. I do teach you how not to attract those kind of people, and to know the red flags, to be able to recognize who and what they are for what they are. Now, granted, a lot of narcissists are good at covering it.
There you go.
A friend of mine, like my friend Cherry's abuser, nobody in the world believed he was. You know why? He was their town fire marshal.
Oh, wow.
See what I'm saying?
That's high rank.
Because there is no really red flag. I've seen the picture. There are the flag be red, orange, green. There is a mix of that. So
abuse doesn't know color, doesn't know financial status, doesn't know race, doesn't know any of it.
Yeah, I heard that.
I'm ghostwriting for a friend of mine because he's autistic, or she's autistic. Her story in the Rise anthology, the Survivor anthology that I'm doing. His abuse, or her abuse, was started when he acknowledged the fact that he's really a she and started the process of transitioning. And his wife didn't appreciate it, but yet convinced the courts that the one that was transitioning was the abuser. It knows abuse, doesn't know boundaries, doesn't recognize it. It happens to anybody.
yes. And there is a case that it's really sad. It's a case in France. It's so-called the Mazan rapes, and because it was the husband and his wife, and during many years he was drugging her, but then it appears that he was also I don't know, but there is suspicion that he was doing it also with her daughter, his daughter. Sorry, he was doing with his daughter. Sorry, my English. So it's really sad because it doesn't know age. It doesn't know. Could be a parent doing that for a child. Could be a child doing that for a parent. Could be an adult doing that for elders. For people who has mobility challenges. So all abuse of in the workplace. So there is so much layers in abuse in the education.
I mean, there's abuse in the military. It's all over, and what makes it worse is the victim shaming. You know, people or just not being believed.
There you go.
Do you know that? And it's not exact statistics, but about 65% of rapes, whether they're male or female, do not get reported because the victim feels ashamed of themselves or feels like they aren't going to be believed when they have no reason to feel that they feel shame. I'm sorry, I don't care if I go out in a pair of coochie cutter shorts and a tank top. That doesn't mean I'm asking to be raped. It means I'm comfortable in my body, and that's what I decided to wear that day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's it. Yes, I know. Carry on. That kind of is what I was in that live the other day. But it doesn't matter. And some religions okay it and even encourage it, things like that. You know, and that's why I do these lives and, you know, have built the community that I do. Because first off, many of us are like-minded, you know, and we want to make a change, to stop the victim shaming, to help the healing, and to give hope. Lately, I've kind of grabbed onto an analogy when it comes to it. Last weekend, I was doing a writer's workshop for the people in my anthology for any guidance or anything. And when I was talking to one of them, I had just eaten Lucky Charms. So this is where it came from, just to point this out. But I was talking about like the message of the book. I was like, I want my readers to see that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow does exist. It is real. It is obtainable. You can heal. You can thrive after. You know, because most people talk about that light at the end of the tunnel, and I decided that I'm going to talk about the pot of gold. You know, the legendary hidden pot of gold at the end of the rainbow that the leprechauns are always searching for. You know, so I just kind of grabbed onto that and decided I wanted to use it as my analogy instead. But
there you go.
You know, and there are ways to recognize whether you're in a healthy relationship or if it's toxic and you're being used. You know, if you call up your boyfriend and say, hey, I really just need to talk. Oh, no, not right now. You know, or anytime you're together, all they do is talk about them. And whenever you try to talk about a good thing or a bad thing, they flip it on you. That's toxic, you know, because relationships are balanced. You know, does Matt give crap about any of this that I do? No, not his thing. He is very much an introvert. He likes his video games. He likes his computer programming. I mean, now granted, you see the guitars behind me, all the electrics are his, the acoustics.
Those are awesome.
And that's not even all of our
Mike,
guitarists, by the way.
Nice. Oh, nice.
But you know, Matt really doesn't care about this stuff. He supports me in it because he knows that it's something I'm passionate about. But does he really want to hear me talking about it? Not really. But I have my friends that I do, but he'll still let me talk to him about it and be interested. I mean, he helps me with tools. Ollie and I trade these all the time, and that reminds me, we're getting the server back up for the all the Humble Bundle books. As soon as I've got it up, Ollie, I will send you the link for it. We trade mental health books and stuff. Humble Bundle is a great website where they have like book bundles and game bundles and programming like programs, and 75% of the proceeds for these bundles go to different charities. So but you know, he will get me new programming. He gets me all the toys when it comes to my streaming, all of it, because he knows this is important to me. You know, and I try to pay attention when he talks about programming and stuff. I've learned how to fall asleep with my eyes open.
There you go.
But I try. That is healthy. But when you're trying to talk to your significant other and they cut you off and start talking about themselves all the time, not good. You know, if it's always me, and nothing about you, that's toxic.
Yeah.
You know,
He'd make me talk about myself.
huh?
Said he'd make me talk about myself, ask me questions.
Yeah.
So,
And in the beginning, they will, because they want to get to know you so that they can figure out how to control you and get you, you know, figure out what makes you tick, you know, what you're missing in your life, so that they can try and fill that role until you're codependent on them.
There you go. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Should
Oh yeah.
work on
Every
me.
narcissist will the game that they play in the beginning, they will make themselves out to be your perfect mate. Whether you are the type of person that has to be a mother in a way, you know, you like to take care of people, help people. They will play on that.
They won't let you to be autonomous.
They will play on that, you know, like you bringing him food, things like that. You know, they will play on those. They'll give you
Apparently he doesn't want me to bring him food because I ain't sure as hell ain't ever doing that again.
Did you?
That's right.
But I mean, they figure out your personality traits and what ways to be able to break you and support you.
Yeah.
So, but it is almost time for dinner, so I'm gonna say, do you guys have any other comments or anything like
Bon appétit.
Yeah.
Thank you for allowing me up.
Because my perfect time, my phone's dying.
So is this your first time actually being in a panel like this?
Yeah.
Well, thank you for letting me pop your
Right.
Welcome.
Man.
So
I feel so awkward.
Lucky you.
No, it wasn't. And I'm really craving a cigarette. I ain't gonna lie.
Right, I know. I keep picking it up.
Listen, I even did the whole makeup thing. Ask Ollie. He has seen me come to class with my hair like all kinds of crazy because I just woke up and not caring. But I even did the whole makeup thing for y'all.
Reframe. It's not crazy. It's mental health.
So, but thank you everybody in the chat. I so appreciate you guys coming, and yes, please, you do look beautiful. Thank you for joining. Lawless, thank you for finally jumping in on one of my panels. I appreciate it. And Ollie, my brother, I will see you tomorrow morning. And with Jen
With
Lynn.
joy.
That's not a live. That's a meeting for her summit that we
Keep
are about.
shining, everyone. Keep shining.
But you guys, keep going. You know, there is that light at the end of the tunnel. Reach out to anybody if you need. You know, my links are on my channel. Feel free.
Reach out and touch
Yes.
somebody's hand. Make this world a better place. Yes,
I love
we can.
Yes, and Ollie's always like this, by the way.
Love it.
But I love you guys. I will see you guys tomorrow at 11 for my meet and greet the writers of Speechless. The book with my sister's story in it, ironically, where the book's all about neurospicy and giving a voice to those that are neurospicy or that passed, that had a story to tell. And I'm doing the intro. We're all getting together and talking about it. Within 8 hours, that hit international bestseller when it dropped last week. So, pretty amazing group of people. If you can make it, cool. Otherwise, team replay. I love you guys. Thank you all for coming. This was kind of impromptu, but damn, Lawless. And this is you, by the way. I know most of you are here because we talked about this last night and this morning in your room. So I really do appreciate you, brother. You know,
Much
you
love
know,
to you. Definitely.
you really helped out a girl.
Oh, thank you.
Much love, everyone.
Much love, definitely for
Much
sure.
love.
So, like I said, please press if you go on my channel, all my links are there if you want in on the beta. Like I said, I've got one spot left. We can discuss
All right.
further what the program's all about.
All right.
And yes, college. Actually, Ollie and I both are international best-selling authors. Ollie and I wrote
Nice.
a book together.
Yes, Beyond Boundaries.
I was about to say we were Beyond Boundaries because I also wrote in Beyond Boxes. So I always get those two confused and they were back to back. So I'm like, wait, which one was which? But yes, Beyond Boundaries was me and Ollie. But yes, actually, College Level Hogwarts, I am a 6-time international best-selling co-author.
Wow.
I will claim that.
Favorite.
I've got
Wow.
six of them, and hopefully, when the Rise of Crystal Phoenix, Crystal Phoenix, presents the Phoenix Rising Survivor anthology, hopefully that will reach it as well, and then people like Misha who's in the chat. There's she for some reason for my Awakened by the Looking Glass is taking part in that book. Lawless, I think you know Miss 702.
Yes.
She's
Yes, I
also
do.
participating in the project.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, there's a few of our YouTube community that I will be helping publish their story.
That's
The book
awesome.
is about living through abuse and coming out of it. It's childhood abuse part 1 and breaking the cycle, normal survivors in the part 2, and then Angel Stories lessons learned for the final section. It's all one book, but it's going to be yearly. So anybody that's not ready to share now can share next year. And it will be a Christmas release every year. Well, Yule, actually, 21st of every year. So
Gotcha.
a lot of work. I am certifiable.
Love it.
I have to edit and format all of it. And
All right.
thank you.
Sounds
Now,
good.
I love you all, but I really need a cigarette. And
Allez, bon appétit. Bye.
bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.